So we're good. We're live.
All right. Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome again to another mastery coaching of the International Empowerment Coaches. Today with Ophelia, Mine, Vana, and myself. And we will be talking about the Pareto principle, the 80-20 principle, which basically says that 20% of your effort is the cause of 80% of your results. So, how does that work? That's what we're going to talk about today. Why is it that 20% of your time, energy, um, is creating 80% of the results in your life, and how does that affect the different stages or areas of your life, for example, your relationships, your work career, your business, maybe your finances, your health, your fitness, all these areas. This principle applies to all these different areas of your life. And I'm very curious about what we're going to learn today about this principle. I hope you are as well. I would like to ask Ovilia to introduce us to this topic and take us, on this adventure.
Sure. Thank you, Vanilda, again. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, you who are spending some time to watch us and to follow us. As you know, we're international empowerment coaches. We are like a family. We have known each other for almost 5 years. We had have these chats, just like the chat that we're gonna have right now. We have had it for almost 5 years. But we took the initiative and say, hey, let's go live. Let's do it so we can have interaction and we can not feel like the information that we're sharing within this room is not relevant to other people, because if it is relevant to us, it is also relevant to other people. So if the information that we're sharing, you feel that it is important to you, you want to make any comment, any suggestion, please feel free to add it here to the comments. I'll be checking on the comments and like. So good morning from California. And if you're watching us, let us know where you're watching us. Say hi. Hello. So we're here, as I say, just having a conversation, having a chat. So today we're going to be talking about the Pareto's principle, or many people know it better as the 80-20 rule. The first time that I heard about this rule, I heard like in the early 2000s. That's when I was going to college. And in the college, I was taking this class in marketing and economics. It was something that triggered my mind because we saw this, we learned from this principle in economics, and then I moved into the marketing and I also learned about this principle. But year passed, I didn't pay too much attention about it, so I'm just okay, go on. As time passed, I learned again about the 80-20 rule, and then I related and I said, hold on, they're talking about the Pareto's principle. So I cannot get to find out. I want to do my own investigation and find out what exactly was the connection among these two, uh, the principle and the rule. And what we know is that the Pareto's principle first initiated in the 1800s in Italy, where one of the economists, let me see where I have his name right now here. Let me see, the economist was Vilfredo Pareto. That's where the Pareto principle comes from, because this was an Italian economist who identified that in 1895, 80% of Italy's land belonged to 20% of the country's population. And first he thought, oh, that's interesting. But then he continued and do more research and more surveys, and he found that in most of the countries, he discovered that that was the same principle will apply also to that same country. Not just that. Let me give you a list of how the 80-20 principle affects our life. So check this out. It comes, let's think about taxation. 80% of taxes, tax money, comes from 20% of society. 80% of the results in the company where you work comes from 20% of the effort of your employees. This is another principle, and I want you to keep this in mind because we're going to have this conversation going on, and we're going to try to make it as most affluent and as more friendly, kind of like a chit chat conversation. Here, there is no experts, an expert is you, and you will be able to identify how the 80-20 rule you are already applying it in your life, but you have not pay attention so you can actually get the outcome that you're looking for. So this is another examples. 80% of car accidents are caused by 20% of young people. 80% of lottery tickets are bought by 20% of society. When I thought about it, I said, that 20% of society, my husband is part of that 20%. 80% of air pollution is caused by 20% of the population. 80% of firearms are used by 20% of the population. 80% of internet traffic belongs to 20% of the websites. And 80% of the car crashes happen within the first 20% of the distance covered. That's interesting, isn't it? Check this out. 80% of the mobile phone calls comes from 20% of your population. And I don't know if you have been able to check how many applications you have in your cell phone. But there is also a study that says that if you have 30, let's say 30 apps, only 20% of those apps are the apps that you actually are using. I apply this rule in my house, and I pay close attention to the clothes that I'm wearing on my closet. And I also found out that almost 20% of the clothes is the clothes that I always use. The other 80% is clothes that I hardly use. And that also applies to the shoes that I have. And that also applies to my time, my 24 hours that I do have. So how can we use this rule of this principle to my benefit? So I can actually be productive at the end of the day. And many times it happens that you were busy all day and you always have in your mind that you're busy, but busy doesn't necessarily means that you're being productive. So the intention of this rule is so you can identify what areas in your life you're actually wasting time because it's not giving you the productivity that you want. This principle is very well known in big companies and business because they're looking to see where most of their income comes to their business. Most of their income comes from 20% of their sales of this population who are the buyers. So if you're going to school, if you're starting a new project, or if you're working and you feel like you're busy and tired at the end of the day and you were not as productive as you wish you were, this rule is very important for you to pay very close attention. So you can identify how can you actually be more productive? How can you actually be more, let me see, I have here. So you can actually get the outcomes that you're looking for. Especially we have here on our team, we have Ivanildo, who is a businessman. We have him that he is also a dad. He runs his business and he's starting other projects. We have Manea, who is a mom with a 3-month-old baby and two little girls. She's going to school, so she has to make sure that she runs the house in her time. She manages it really well, so she gets the outcome and accomplish whatever she has planned. Same thing with Vanna. She's in her house, she's going to school, she's doing her thesis, so for her graduation, university, husband. So we're busy people. And I'm pretty sure that you who is watching us, you're busy as well. Or our intention is to help you identify where are the areas in your life that you're actually wasting your time and that is making you feel tired. So you guys, anything that you would like to add? I see you, Manella. You're muted. I don't know, Ivanildo.
I,
But
yeah, well, I love this principle. I've known it for many, many years.
yes.
And like what I remember is like the 2080s, like even in our wardrobe, how many clothes we have, and yet we only wear 20%. So we could make our life much easier if we got rid of 80% of our clothes, clutter our wardrobes. And please don't take a look in my shoe cupboard. All the shoes I've got, and yet I always end up wearing the same shoes. Um, so it is such an amazing principle. So if people understand that, and if sometimes I forget it, and it's about focus. It's about laser focus, not just any kind of focus. It's about not wasting energy. And when you focus like a laser, you can cut through metal. Okay, it's so powerful. You can be so I can be so much more productive, happy if you it's about focusing on some key elements of our life rather than doing everything and being everything for everyone. um Even in our business, it's about focusing on the 20%, and it doesn't have to be 20%. That is a generic general kind of rule, the 80/20. It can be like this book, okay, the one thing. Focus on the one thing of your life. Okay, so it doesn't, this I can't remember the guy who published the book, a very popular book, the one thing. So it's about focusing on a few key things in life.
Mm-hmm.
uh, but yes, it's good to always have it in the front of your mind. Am I doing my 20/80? Because the other thing is nepophilia. The
Yeah,
20% will have the 80% result.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. So that is
yeah.
beautiful how, okay, you can put the 20% of effort and you will have the maximum 80% result. And you can put the 80% effort on everything and get a 20% result.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being clever in our life, intelligent, smart, making smart decisions, learning from others. I don't know, guys,
Exactly.
what do you think from your experience?
Yeah. How do you apply this rule in your life?
Well, it makes me want to explore even further. How to apply this. Like we're aware of it. You've showed so much evidence, right, Ophelia, of how this
Mm-hmm.
28 rule works, and then I'm very curious about, okay, so how do I do this? In my relationship, in my work, how do I become aware of this 20% that I need to focus on, and basically trying to avoid the 80%, and wasting all that time and energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really trying to figure that out, how that works. And yeah, I have to say, I don't have the answers yet.
Have you ever? And that question is not only for Vanilda, for also for you guys, so for you who is watching us. How can we make it so we can analyze, or what is it that we're doing actually throughout the day, and where did your day actually went to? Why is it that you're feeling tired and you were not productive? So how how does that work? Does that work for you? Have you been able to look back and see what are the
Hmm.
changes that you can make?
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I had a day yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday, yeah, and I had, like, yeah, the entire, like, 24 hours, right? So the one part is sleep, and then the rest of the day I was with my family, but I did had to work for a few hours, and I realized that it was I think it was 2 hours that I was working with a client, and I realized that those 2 hours with a client gave me 80% of the energy that I had that day. And when I look at the rest of my day, those were all just energy consuming activities, where I was wasting energy and where I was losing energy. So that's really interesting, and becoming aware of that makes me think like, okay, so how can I then, if I know this now, that is something that gives me 80% of the energy, how can I do that more? So that's something I find really interesting to
Mhm.
discover and
I
explore.
think I have a quick thing to say. I think the 20% could be in setting the intention. Okay. Wow. Look at that. You set the intention. Like, you're going to go meet your friend. Okay. You set the intention at the beginning. And then it's like, oh, can you see, because sometimes you think, oh, what have I done, my friend? What happened? Where the time went? But then if you say, no, I want to have a meaningful discussion, or I want to have fun, or what do you want to have in that kind of exchange relationship, okay? When you set that intention, it doesn't take long, okay? It's even less than 20%, setting an intention. How do I want uh, to be, how do I want to show up in my family? And maybe you need to be like 5 minutes present with your family, to look like your wife in her eyes and be present there for her and listen to her. And that could be such a small percentage of the whole story, and yet that would make the big difference, the 80% difference.
Right.
That could be a game changer. The intention for me, I don't know, what do you think, guys?
I like what you say, the intention and focus. I think that this having the ability to stay focused is definitely one of the characteristics, skills that we must master. Because that's one characteristic, so one advantage of the people who is successful in life, who set goals and are able to achieve it. That's one characteristic, that one commonality among them, that they have the ability to stay focused, the ability to make clear intentions of what is it, that's something that they want to make. And I think one technique that is very important for people who is watching us and who would like to become a master of applying the 80-20 rule, is that it is important to see if they can create a list of 10 things that they have to do. What are those 10 things that they must do? Create the list, and then from the list, choose the one thing that they have to accomplish throughout the day. Then they move to the second thing that they have to accomplish throughout the day. And their focus has to be to those two things, nothing else. They'll have the list of those 10 things that they want to do throughout the day. But the intention is here comes intention. The intention is that they have to focus on at least one thing that they must accomplish throughout the day. Why? Because if you have 10 items throughout in your list, those 10 items are flying in your mind and taking all kinds of directions. So it is changing your focus. Now it is making you feel overwhelmed. Now it is making you feel lost and frustrated. And at the end of the day, you feel tired, super tired, annoyed, and frustrated because you did not accomplish the things that you wanted to do. Yet you were not productive. So if you have the intention of accomplish at least one or two of these projects in your list, you're gonna feel so motivated once you do one or two, that you're gonna do three, four, five, or more. And at the end of the day, you're gonna go to bed and you're gonna feel like, yes, I made it, I did it. So that's gonna keep you. That's something that is gonna keep you on going and trying to achieve your goals. So write them down on a list and stay focused to that something that you want to achieve. There is one technique that I remember we talked a long time ago about eat the frog first. And I don't remember what was the topic that we were talking about. But one of those techniques was eat the frog first. Target that something that you really are avoiding or procrastinating to do. Do it and make that be the first thing that you do throughout the day. And that's something that I have to, I have to continue to apply it on my life. It doesn't mean that I become a master on that area. I still have to work on that area with me as well. So that was one of the techniques, and that's also one of the things that happens once you become more familiar with the Pareto principle, is that procrastination. That procrastination pretty much, is not longer there. It's not longer ruling your life. So what do you guys think?
Yes, that was a really great point. In my experience, also, there are conflict of interest, you know. Sometimes we want to exercise, sometimes we want to do other stuff. At the same time, we want to spend time with our family. So
Mhm.
finding a way to combine that. It might be we can work with our family, you know, we are exercising at the same time socializing with our family. I mean, we are connecting, you know, that kind of experience. We can, you know, like sometimes for myself I say, okay, I have to exercise today. I can go for running, you know, but by the end of the day I didn't spend time with the family. I feel guilty,
Oh.
you know. So instead of doing that, what we started in our family, me, my husband, and our two kids, will go. Of course, our baby daughter is there also. We go with a stroller, and even it is adventure. It is becoming like adventure. We can go even discovering new paths, you know, pathway. It is like 30-minute walk or 1 hour walk. Everybody is exercising and we are sharing new experience working. And it is you know, like uncertain where we are working, so we are discovering new pathway. So it is like it is becoming more interesting. So yeah, we can combine things so that we, you know, if we have conflict of interest. What I find challenging is around the house. As we say, I study, we have business here, and we have to handle everything, right? I find myself spending more time with my baby daughter and not having quality time with my two daughters, you know, the bigger daughters. That is my challenge at the moment, and I am figuring out things like by doing the experience I just shared. I think for me, more of what I put in my mind. Like if I think overthink about that thing, I feel overwhelmed. I spend more time by getting overwhelmed, doing nothing. But if we do, like if we act on one thing, then we feel productive in that thing, as Vanna was saying, like focusing in that thing, and then we will have progress after that.
Mhm.
Instead of sitting, oh my God, I didn't do anything today, and even I didn't connect with my children, I didn't talk to my husband, you know, we will put more pressure on ourselves, like by focusing, by having that laser focus, and then we will have more energy to share with everybody else.
Mhm.
So yes, I think that kind of approach might, yeah, absolutely, it works. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
it's
I,
working.
I can really relate to that, Mene,
Yeah,
because what it does to me, this 80-20 rule, is
yeah,
that, when it comes to expectations and demands of
yeah,
myself, especially dealing with a lot of responsibilities in different areas of my life,
yes,
there's always so much to do, or there's so much to achieve, or there are so many people to deal with, or to take care of, or to think about,
absolutely.
and it becomes overwhelming sometimes, if you want to do everything 100% right, and it becomes frustrating, and even disappointing when you're not able to do that, to meet that expectation of yourself. And this 2080 rule helps me to realize that whatever I'm doing, if I can tell myself, and if I can recognize and know that as long as I focus on 20%, um, I can create 80% of what I want to create or achieve in my life.
Okay.
So I don't have to focus on 100%, right? I don't have to think of myself or expect from myself that I have to do everything for the full 100%. I basically just have to focus on the 20% and
Mhm.
accept that 80% of what I'm doing is just a waste, or it's just, yeah, it will not, you know. And that really helps me to kind of be less stressful, about life and about my responsibilities and things I have to do. So I can really relate to that. That's really good.
Absolutely. Um, so
That's
when
in,
it comes to our relationship also, because of at this time, at this Corona time, we have to spend more time with our family, and we get to know who we are, like to each other, to more. We get to see our kids. We get to know our family more, and we have a chance to see what kind of relationship did we have before this time,
Mm.
and to have that, like 20% of our relationship was like the most what do you call it, powerful relationship that will make us to grow, to expand more, you know, to live the life of our fulfilled life,
Mhm.
so I see that, I saw that for myself too. It helped me, to see, to have inventory in my surrounding. What kind of surrounding do I have? You know, so you can see that 20% of your relationship or your friendship, is that powerful group. You can see. So yes, like doing that kind of because I used to spend a lot of time, hanging out with a lot of friends, but now at this time it showed me where did I spend my time, most of my time. I spend most of my time just, without plan or anything. I spend more of my time be by having conversation, having conversation that's not that doesn't add value to my life, you know. So yes, this 80-20 rule, it is interesting, and it works in all area of our lives, absolutely.
mhm. Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to maneuver
Yes,
where I'm listening to you and where I'm, checking, making sure that the page are going live where they supposed to be going live.
yes.
And I don't see comments. So if there is somebody commenting on my personal page, I cannot see it. It is
Wow.
only going to Mind Your Mind today. Those are the comments that I'm checking there. And I see people showing there, but it doesn't say any comments. So if you're watching us, wherever you at, feel free to come to the page and say hi and say where are you at, where are you watching us. And maybe you have an experience with a Pareto principle and you would like to share, please feel free, or maybe even you have any questions. But yeah, definitely this principle, it is also a tool, an excellent tool that we can use so we can learn how to manage stress better. So how
Mhm.
can we be, how can we be productive? Something that also is crucial is that how many things do we have throughout the day? How many things do we do? While I was analyzing this principle, I noticed that I was spending probably like 60% of my day in the kitchen. And I was not even cooking. And I would be like, okay, so why is this mess in the kitchen? And my son is like, oh, I don't know, but every time that you're in the kitchen, is that when I see the kitchen, the messier. And I'm thinking, okay, is that me? But that also created me, feeling, having the thought of the feeling that I'm busy. And I was not even busy because I was not even cooking. I was doing God knows what I was doing. So, yeah. And then I went to school and I was working full time. And then I have these other projects of the masterminds. So I wanted to find ways so I can be productive without feeling busy. And applying the Pareto principle helps me understand what areas in my life I wanted to actually feel that I was being more productive. I will clean the house and I will have it as a priority. And for how long can your house stay clean? Not long, especially when you have kids and husband and running around the house. So it created a lot of frustration in me until I give up. I give up on keeping up with my house. Why? Because my house was here. My house wasn't gonna leave. So my dishes were not gonna leave because I didn't wash them. No, they were gonna stay in the sink. So I pay attention to what are those things that I have to must do so I can do them and feel less stressed. So, Bana, what are the things? Because you're really working right now, you're working towards having one of these papers. You're working on a research paper, and we know how it is doing a research paper. It is, I don't know how many hours you spend, but I used to spend at least 11 hours a day.
Oh my God.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
I don't even want to. How you doing? How you doing?
Well, small steps every day. Not. I'm not burning out. Okay. But what my question for me, the challenge is how we say business or family. Where is this 20%? And that's the question we should be asking ourselves, really. Where is the 20% that will give me the 80% results? If we have that question, that would make a lot of difference. But it's not an easy question. Because I, for example, love to spread myself thin and do everything, oh my God, I love to learn about this and that, and something new. It's boring just doing the research paper. I want to be doing learning about everything. Okay, I want to be learning about the environmental things and psychology and hypnotherapy and different types of therapies, CBT, and it's just I don't know if it's just me, guys. Do you have that?
Yeah, I have the same challenge too. Yeah, I hear you, Bana. I hear you absolutely.
It's like oh my God, yeah, and I'm get so excited. Yes, another therapy. Yeah, I need to know it. I need to know everything about it. It's like no, take it easy. Take a step back.
It is kind of like your activity. So we go back to the banner. 20% of all your activity will count for 80% of your results.
Yeah.
So you're spending 8 hours. Let's put it like that. You're spending out of 10 hours. You're spending 8 hours doing research and studying, where you actually getting only 20%. So you're not getting your full. You're spending a lot of hours doing your research, a lot of hours learning. But what is that? Something that is it actually getting you closer to achieving?
That's the thing. That's a gold question. Where is that 20% where you can do like your 2 hours of research and have an okay paper kind of thing, okay? In my opinion, but it's just the perfectionist, the little perfectionist inside everyone of us,
Also, when we're reading books, just imagine yourself, you have 100 pages book. Out of those 100 pages book, only 20% is important. The other 80%, it is only, the writer's opinion, the writer's experience. But 20% is information that is important and that you must have to, pay attention to that. So there is really people who are like readers by nature, or they just have this challenge of reading books, and they said, just look for that 20%. You don't
Well,
have
it's
to do the whole
very, oh my God, Ophelia, what you've just said now. I don't know, guys, if you know the guy, Ty Lopez, I believe so. I mean,
I
I'm
love
not
it.
100. Yeah, I really think he, in one of his programs, he said he's reading, like he's speed reading. Basically, he only reads the bits that he likes.
Yeah,
He
I
doesn't
heard
read.
about him. Yeah, he read one book a day, I think.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yes, and I was very interested about that because one to be, some of the books are big books. Okay, I don't know how fast this guy can read, but I understand he only reads parts of the book that he finds interesting and relevant to him. And
Mhm.
actually, that's the way people do research. I say do my research paper or my homework, my assignments. I will not read everyone's books. I will find exactly the little piece, the little paragraph that's relevant to me, the little chapter that's a secret, okay? So we don't actually read everything, do we? I'm not sure. Ophelia, we don't read.
If we read like that, we will not have time. Like we have to drown in that reading ourselves.
And normally with the research papers, because you have to look at the other research papers, we normally go like right at the summary bit, okay, the last little paragraph, okay. We forget about everything else. the discussion, the last little part, okay, read that.
Mhm.
I learned this with the last classes, the last course that I took about applied behavioral analysis. So when I check on the syllabus, there was 2 to 4 chapters that we needed to read per week, plus about 4 to 6 articles. And I said, okay, I'll figure out how I do that. But when I saw the articles, 45 pages length each article, the smallest was like 23. I said, okay, what is this people trying to do to me? They want me to quit working. They want me to not go to sleep and just stay here reading. And I didn't know how other students were doing it. And I contact, by then I get my supervisor, which is a board certified behavioral analyst. And she said like, so tell me how you read. Now, well, I said like, I feel bad, but I cannot even read everything that I'm supposed to be reading. I can probably read half of the chapter and I can read one article or two, but even like that, I can. And she said like, you know what, this is what I want you to do. Read the abstract. Just go really quick and find keywords where you need to stop and actually read just that paragraph. Do not read everything because you're gonna kill yourself with so much reading. And
Mhm.
that's cheating. And that is the 80 20 rule, that
Mhm.
I was actually doing 80%, but I was only getting the 20% of the outcome. Well,
Mhm.
she teach me I can actually do only the 20% so I can get 80% of the outcome. So there
Wow.
is always ways to get things easier. And it's not for you to be lazier, but to be productive and to study in a smart way.
Mhm.
To be smart. Something that I do remember, you guys might help me recall what is Steve Jobs. That's one of his quotes where he said that when he's hiring people, he doesn't look for the smarter. He actually looks for the dumbest. And they say why? Because the dumbest thing is that the word, if it's not, I'm sorry, but they said he will always find the easiest or the laziest way to achieve the goals.
Mhm.
I might be calling
Is that,
recalling it wrong, but it just
is that
like
Bill
that.
Gates or is that Steve Jobs? I remember this
Was
thing.
that Steve Jobs?
Is that Steve Jobs or Bill Gates? Not
I don't
sure.
know. How
I
many?
think
How
I
many? How
remember
many?
this saying, the lazy people, the lazy person can find out, simplest way to do things. I remember this saying, absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm. Let
Yes.
me see if I can find it. Oh, I should get it first, right before I can post it out there. I don't want to be saying things that are not true. But that's the point. That's the point, that even the people who is lazy, they always find ways to do things faster so they don't have to be there a long time. And that's probably this principle a lot is coming from, because there is also different companies, and I can refer that to companies kind of like hospitals. They have their employees working only 4 days out of the week. Instead of working 5 days, they only work 4 days, because those are the hours that they can actually be productive. And there is a statistic saying that you actually achieve whatever you have to do throughout the day, you achieve it within 3 hours. You don't have to be working 8 hours. Isn't that
Absolutely right. Yeah. By the way, I found a quote. Ophelia, can I just say it? Okay. The quote.
read it?
So it is Bill Gates.
Okay.
Yeah, I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, the lazy person is actually using the 80/20 rule.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Guys, this because I thought about it a lot, and a lot of times we have those kind of feelings. Am I enough?
Yeah, exactly.
I had that, guys. I had that, and I'm thinking, am I clever enough? Okay, I questioned myself. I'm not as clever as Bill Gates, or I'm not saying Bill Gates, but look at those important people. So many, I can find so many. Oh my God. And I'm like the odd one out. And then I came across something that made such a big difference. And it's very similar to what you said, Ophelia. It's intelligence is not as important. What is important is adaptability, to be able to adapt. Do you see? Intelligence is not important. Intelligence will not lead you to survival, okay? Adaptability will. So being able to adapt to those rules, okay? The rules are 80/20. Do 20% hard work, get the big results, okay? That's being adaptable. It's just being an Einstein and knowing everything.
Yes. And also this thing guide us to have priority in our life. What matters? We have to choose. We can spend our time by checking list, doing a lot of activities, or putting the priority what matters to us. Like by the end of the day, or there is a saying, if you are in your day's bed, let's say you are about to die, and what matters to you then? Like what kind of activity, what kind of relationship, what do you want to do for yourself? So this rule, I think, helps to give priority for those things. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. This rule is a saver, a lifesaver. I heard somebody said, well, the 80/20 rule is not like it is a universal law. It is not a universal law, but it is definitely a principle that we must be aware, because it might not be, as Bana said, it might not be an 80/20. It might be a 70/30. It might be a 90/10. But the important is for you to get to know about this principle.
Yes.
How can how can you use it as a tool to help you achieve your goals, to help you be more productive, to help you be, to concentrate, and ultimately get the outcome that you're looking for.
Yeah,
Anything
and
else? Yeah.
I
Go
think
ahead.
that's very important also, I think, in this conversation. Like, so what is the 80% outcome you are looking for, right? In the different areas of your life, in your relationship, in your health, in your career, in your finances, in your business. What is this 80% that you are trying to achieve? And how do you know which 20% you should put your time and energy in to produce that 80%? That's also like a
That's
journey
a
for me
trick.
to
That's a
grab.
yes.
Mhm. Also, I thought about the people who does exercise, and that's something that I mentioned to you guys when we were planning about talking about this Pareto principle. Is that when I was at the gym, I saw this quote, and I think that many people who is into physical fitness know about this principle. And this principle states that 75%, 25% of your body is your exercise, whatever exercise that you're doing. But 75% to 85%, it is what you eat. So
Mm-hmm.
we see that principle also being applied here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Bana.
Now, oh my God, yes. Now it's a bit tricky, Ophelia. Now you see, there it is a conflict, or what is the truth? And sometimes you have to, you have to experiment and find from your mistakes. Yeah, for example, for me, it's quite a little bit of a stressful period in my life. I just want to get this research paper out of the way, really, and and I've got a little bit of a cold, so that gets me a little bit down. But so it's like, what do I do? Okay, especially the thing is when I'm into that kind of stress place, I lose my priorities,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking I get lost. So is it diet? Is it exercise? And I lost that sort of like, and I think I want to get hold of something, some kind of a little bit of certainty in my life. And I kept the exercise and I lost the diet. The diet has gone. I'm not monitoring that. Okay. I used to be quite good at monitoring. But I thought, okay, every day I will exercise. Even if it's a small amount, I will do it. I'll get out of the door and do like an hour walk or whatever, even if it's not running. And I tell you, this thing for me, I find it more like easy. It's really quite easy for me to do that. And also erases my mood. My mood is much more, it could have been much worse. So, but if I have a better mood, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but it is more likely that I will make a better food choices. So you see, exercise, even though exercise, we are made 25% of our body could be exercise, the muscles, and 75% nutrition. And yes, certainly we need to look at the nutrition. But exercise is also, it could be the 20%,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
can help you change your mood and help you make better food choices.
Right.
I'm not sure. What do you think, guys?
Yeah.
You got a point.
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I think life is, 360. When we improve in one area, that will lead us to improve in another area too. I think that's a good point, Vanna. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was, I couldn't recall his name. He has even a lecture. It calls like "Make Your Bed." Do you remember
Yeah.
that? Right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
that one shows, for example, starting something productive.
Mm-hmm.
When we make our bed, we feel like we accomplished something.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of everything is all over the place and oh my God, today is, that kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
We make our bed, that is productive. Then we will go to the next thing. For example, Vanna, you go out for a walk, exercise, you forced yourself and then go out for a walk. After that, you feel excited. And then we will do the next thing. I think that's a good, and I think it is major thing too, to remind for all of us, because our habits or our subconscious mind or our body is built in some certain way, right? We have to force ourselves to do certain things, and then after we do that, we will be energetic to do other things, and then for the next day we will improve more. So yes, absolutely, that's very important thing, I think, for all of us.
Mhm.
because changing our habit is it might be very challenging and it's tricky, as Vanna said, right? We might change it to something like exercise, or we might change it to eating something healthier or something. So by changing one habit, I feel like I am all over the place, but let us focus to 20% of what I said now.
No, it's not the case. Don't worry.
No, but I mean, like, when people watch this again, they will only remember or keep in mind 20% of what we are talking about anyway. So yeah, that's just the
Oh,
way
it
it
can be
is.
less. It can be less than 20%.
Yeah, maybe, probably.
Well, how
Yes.
will they do? If they do, well, they can watch again, watch the video, and try to remember as much as possible. And how it works, there is plenty of books. There are plenty of books that and videos. Yeah, there is actually research in regards to the Pareto
Okay.
principle. As I said, you can find information in regards to this topic in marketing and economics and people who is in business. There is plenty of books, there is plenty of research papers. There is plenty of YouTube videos. So there is a lot of information that you can actually read and follow us. So we can have this chat, so we can communicate and have this interaction, and
Yeah,
then work together because we're in this journey where we are not perfectly there where we want to be.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
what I really hope is that people who are watching this will find a way or found a way um, to achieve more doing less, basically,
Mhm.
so
Oh
that
yeah.
you
Yeah.
feel more, that you know that you can feel fulfilled and not feeling stressed out, wanting to achieve more, but that you know that it only takes 20%, basically. And so I hope that really made you aware again and made you feel that you are good enough, and that
Mhm.
everything that you're doing is basically more than enough, because 20% is actually enough.
Mhm.
And that it will, yeah, put you on a journey where you will discover more and more what the 20% is that you want to focus on, so that you will get that 80% result. So I hope
Mhm.
you've taken that from this mastery coaching. And we want to join you on that journey, discovering your 20% and defining your 80% of results. So if you ever feel like you need some help with that, or you would like to have some coaching or someone who can walk by side with you on that journey, feel free. You're more than welcome to reach out to us, and we're more than happy to help you with that.
Absolutely. Maybe if you're watching us and you have applied this rule in your life and it work and you would like to share your story, you can also reach us out. Or if you have any questions, same thing, we're here for you. So everyone, thank you for watching. And I'm gonna say bye from California.
Bye from the Netherlands.
Bye from Canada.
And bye from the UK, where I am right now.
I will see you in 2 weeks, right?
Yes,
All
Absolutely.
right.
absolutely.
Bye
I'll
and have
see
a
you in two
wonderful
weeks.
afternoon.
Bye.
All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.